Welcome to the Transformer Unicorn Tales. I'm Katie, your ever transforming host. This is a podcast about awesome transformations, food, for thought, and occasionally unicorns. I am so excited that you're here listening to this. Let's get started. Hello everyone. Today we have another special episode with a very special guest. And I just want to let her introduce herself and then we can get started. Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon from sunny Dubai. Thank you so much for hosting me today, Kathleen. It's a pleasure to meet you and that our paths crossed.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. So, tell me what you do these days.
So these days, I help people get out of their mental constraint and cancel the stories that they have made in their mind based on some past events, perhaps childhood, or maybe the TV news that we are looking every day. Because everything we give attention and we focus on, it comes to our life in a way or another. So what I try to do through my job is help people identify their powers and how to design the life they like and long, and steps how to do that in a safe way. Because I believe we have immense power in all of us stored, but we just need to use them for a good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. And
Thank
may I
you.
ask, how did you get there? Like, I think when we do those kind of things, like when we empower others, it's because we got empowered ourselves. So I wonder, where does it come from?
Hmm. Thank you very much. So there is a story, as you say, to everything that happens like that. Um, so I'm 42 years old, and I used to work. I had a degree in economics. I was working for the Greek government. Then I was working for a bank while I was living in Budapest. And at some point, I got a very nice family of three kids, and I created a very nice family. But I couldn't enjoy that because for some reason and experience from the past, I couldn't deal with the daily life of being a mother of three, or have to run a household and the identity, like who I am, what I do. And at some point, things got so bad that I was not able to communicate, nor with my husband, neither with my children, what I was wanting, how to ask it, and simple things. So, like, okay, guys, we need to have dinner. So nobody was listening to me, and I got through a stage I was blaming everybody outside that, if you know what I mean. So they are bad, they don't listen, they're bad kids, he is a very bad behaving husband. And at some point something shifted, and a question popped in my mind, like, okay, if what if I am wrong? What if something I don't see in the picture? What's there? So few events made me to shift my reality, and to be, I want to share something else, something very deep for me. Things were so bad in my family that I couldn't go and have a consultation with a psychologist, because I was in a point so closed that I couldn't accept advice easily, and I couldn't see a window. Somehow things are going to shift. I'm not ready to seek advice because I know I've done something wrong deeds, and I feel very ashamed for them to share, but there has to be a way out. So I started, for some reason, even though I had many years to pray and ask for help, I started praying and asking for an answer and a help from another realm, because I felt that what's here, it cannot be done with human powers. I need to have a support from a higher realm that I feel that exists. That maybe I'm in disconnection right now, but I'm open for any help that can come. So I was starting praying, and I joined some meditation groups, and I was starting visualizing my son, how it could be a very nice future, sending him love. And I did have some encounters from spiritual realms. So while I was praying in a Greek Orthodox church in Dubai, I had a very big feeling of a tremendous love and protection and support that really shook my foundation. And it was like, oops, something great is out there, something that we are not realizing, something what we are disconnected from, and something that it's probably longing for us to surround us and support us, even though the bad things that are happening around us. And slowly I started to understand that it's not only our senses that we can trust. There is something that we cannot access with the eyes, the ears, maybe the touch and the smell, but really can help us and be there for us. So I started studying neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy, and I got in touch with the subconscious mind and how this is connected actually with the higher realms, with the divine powers that can help us and assistance, but only if we are ready to call them in. Because as humans, we are gifted with free will, and this realm cannot interfere with our lives unless we clearly ask for guidance. And then I was taught, and I was reading, and I was experimenting how we can get in touch through our subconscious with these powers. And slowly by slowly, with my studies and my experience, my life started shifting because I did a very big internal shift. And I'm every day working on that. How can I become better? How can I become a better mother, a better wife, a better human being? How can I become more loving? How can I show up in the way I must show up so I can have the results and enjoy the life I like?
Yeah. Oh, I love that story. And I love how you say, like, it's a process. Like, you just have to keep going. And I had so many thoughts. Um, well, let me start by saying I know there are listeners who are like, "Oh, that spiritual stuff, like I never experienced that." I was the same like years ago. And then it happened just a few months ago. Like before that, I was already like open to it. And I think the moment you open it in, like like you just said, like we have the free will, and as long as you like say like, no, 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 it's not there, it's not gonna come. I think it's the same with like signs and stuff. Like, sometimes things are just screaming at us, like, listen to me, slow down, or I don't know, listen to me. You should go this way. And we just like, no, 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 I know better. Like logically in my mind, I know better. And then a few months ago, I had this experience where I was meditating and I had that like
Oh,
opening, this like whoosh experience. And I thought, okay, that's scary. And I closed it down. I was like, nope, we're not going there. And since then, because I allowed myself to let that happen, I I allow it to also happen more and more. But I know that there are people who are like still at that, like, I don't want to see this. And so for me, meditation helped. And um I would say also just hanging out with the right kind of people helped as well. But I was wondering if you have any tips for the people who are that like, very mind and very rational, very logical, very here instead of here, I would say, people, how they can open the channel. Because I think it's important.
yeah. So if there are people who are watching a task, then there is a reason, even if there are many centered on the intellectual, but still there is a reason why they are watching that. Maybe something, a part of them is looking to open to a higher realm. So what I would say to these people who might be a bit skeptical, but a part of them wants to try, the the safest advice I would give is try to eliminate the noise which comes from the daily life, which means um, what we see, what we listen, what we touch, and we smell are all fantastic to navigate the reality, but they do produce a lot of noise and chatter and overwhelm. So calming down, slowing down, and consciously trying to connect with the nature and observe her cycle or what the animals are doing feels it's a safe way how to connect with that, because nature is there to show us hidden her secrets. So this would be my advice: to take some time to unwind, relax, go within, and eliminate the stimulation from the senses, because our soul, the subconscious, can communicate with us when we are not the body.
Mm-hmm.
So when we calm down and we try to cease the thinking and the chatter, and everything is slowing down.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, I
I
like
could
that.
give any type of advice, that would be nice to allow some time to retract from reality.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a really good one to really tune in, because I think indeed like we're also so focused on the like what comes in, and then it comes here instead of here. Well, for me that's here. Like I don't know where it is for you. For me it's okay actually. For the people just listening, I'm pointing at my heart and at my head. So I like to be up in my head instead of in my heart. And lately I learned to be more in my heart. Um I was also wondering, mm, you said you just kept going. Like once there was that like ball rolling, you kept going. But you said you were also using prayer. I don't know if there is a religion linked to the prayer or just praying to like to the spiritual world. But what do you do? Or what would you advise people who are kind of like questioning or feeling like I don't know if I can keep going like this? Because once you start rolling, yes, there is this motion, but sometimes you're like, it's hard, like there are obstacles again, there's things again, and you go like, I don't know if I can do this like this.
Very, very good question. So I don't like to separate religions and denomination. For my case, I am Greek Orthodox, so I am in favor a lot of Virgin Mary, and because of my personal, I had a very big problem with my son. So for me, her archetype, because she was a mother with a son, it made sense, and I chose her because I felt that she is a mother, and I need to take from her wisdom what she was doing, so she was able to grow up Jesus to be who he became. So for me, that was the instinct. Although she knows something, she can guide me. There is a skill I'm missing, but I'm sure that I can acquire. If I see, if I imagine how it was for her, then definitely I can take out something for her. And would be it could be the same for any archetype. So if somebody, let's say, is of another religion, definitely there will be another archetype that they can draw the power. So it can be another motherly figure, a feminine figure, or it can be another saint or another guru, because these are all archetypal symbols. So they are embodying a very big and wide range of virtues, that they're universal
Mm-hmm.
and not only for one religion. So everybody has an archetype that they can draw power from, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. And then for the second part, how would you say, like, when you feel like you're losing the connection, how would you empower yourself to keep going?
I do use a lot of faith, because not all the days are fine, and still there are things coming on our way that we doubt. Let's say, okay, one again. But then what keeps me up is my desire, because I know that I do like to enjoy a fantastic life. And if some adversities are still coming my way, there is a skill for me. I need to develop something to cultivate, and persistence. So I don't give up. Even if I lose one single battle, I didn't lose the war. And it's my desire for the result that keeps me going, and my passion to what I do, and also what gives me a signal that I am not in my path is that when I feel out of alignment. So if I feel that many challenges are coming that my way, it feels that I'm a bit everywhere, I'm a bit overstimulated, I'm doing many things and my energy is everywhere. And it's a safe sign that, I need to retract, take some time, maybe connect a bit with the nature, do some meditation, and then things are coming back into balance again. So this is a safe indicator. So what I could say, that if you see that things are too volatile, too many things are coming your way, it's an indication that your energy is on too many things. You're focusing on many things at the same time, and probably your situation are coming your way only for you to understand that you need to calm a bit down, take it more easy, don't worry, just take some space and time for yourself. So this came from experience, experimenting 2 3 years for that. So when I see the signs, I'm open to say, now I cannot come to this event, I cannot take this client, because I know what it will bring more friction and not the results I want. And for me, it works. The tuning in and seeing how things are, it's the safest indication.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I always well, always. I like to imagine it as like floating on the water, and then when you have the friction, you know that like you're not floating anymore. You're kind of like swimming really hard. And I know like, that's when you have to like, okay, I'm just gonna let it happen again. And I really like that image. And I like your indicators of like when you're not on your path, when there's like too much, when your energy is like, blah. And yeah, I also like to say, like, when I coach someone, I just give them the space. But in order to give space, I have to have the space, because if I don't have the space, there's no space to give. Like, with the cup, filling your own cup before you can fill someone else's cup. Um, yeah. Mm, let me think. Is there like one thing that you definitely want the listeners to take home?
One thing would be that it came now to my mind as an inspiration. Find your own star of Bethlehem. Something that a vision of who you want to become, and allow that star to be your safe guide. Keep on to that. Have faith, and there is not a chance that it's not going to be guiding you to the right path or direction. So track the star, and keep it there in your life as a warmth, as a protection for you. It's going to be always there guiding you. And I just came to my mind.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, being true to our star. That reminds me of another thing though. How would you say someone can find the star? Because sometimes I feel like the sky is just very cloudy. Especially
Mm-hmm.
when you're like younger and you start out, you're like, this is my star because, I need to have an education, I need to have a good job, I need to have a family. And then you're like, oh, my star was actually on the other side of the sky. So how would you say we can tune into our own star?
So in the beginning, when we're growing up, we need to take, we need the programming and the condition, because it's a safe navigation, let's say. And we think that we want to become ABC or do ABC again. And I think for the first year it's important because we're still collecting experiences, and later on we can process them, say, okay, yeah, I really want that, or I didn't like that. So slowly I feel that it's opening in the clouds, though these days, because we have a lot of stimulation from the social media and the TV and the YouTube, the sky has become very, very clouded. So because something is good for the other people, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for us. And when we choose something because we just like it, we saw, or it's popular, then safest result is that our soul is going to start um, doing frictions in our life, only for us to understand that this is not our path in the end. So if you see guys friction, don't be afraid, embrace that, because your soul is just preparing you to tune in. To do that, you need to just soften your senses, maybe take some time and ask yourself, like, what do I really want? What is there for me? And when you ask these questions, universe has to respond back. There is no way that you're not going to have a response, but the response is not going to be a voice telling all this woo stuff. It's going to be coming by an animal you're going to be seeing passing by, or you're going to see a person, or an opportunity, or a flyer, or something in the Facebook showing you some signs what's your soul wants to communicate with you. Because in the end of the day, the universe is electromagnetic, and it uses all the electromagnetic information that can have to show us the next step. So I would say tune in for a while, relax, meditate, let your imagination run wild. And when you're gonna feel that that's the correct path, you're gonna be feeling that. The juice, the taste of wholeness, it will be there, and then you will know what's your calling.
Yeah. I love that. I also love how you said, we need the first experiences. Because I feel when you're like a teenager and you're just like, my life is so hard. When I just finish my studies and start my work, everything will be better. And then, it's not. We just have this idea like life is it just has to be easy because why would it be hard? Like, I just want the easy path. And none of us really have the easy path. We all have those experiences where we go, oh, this is not what I wanted. And then you learn, like, okay, you also learn that feeling of this is not for me. And because you learn that, you can also learn what is for me. And I love how you said that, you just need to have the experiences first before you can go, this is what
Yes,
I want.
exactly. What I feel is that you need to have the experience, because otherwise, if you don't have a less, how can I say, desirable experience, how do you really know what you like?
Yeah.
So there is no realm of bad or good. Actually, it's like how much I like that and how less I like the other one. And something else that we were not aware, but it's very well described in Aristoteles, is the process of individuation, which means that it's totally normal to follow the masses up until some age. The beginning, where we really make our identity, is much later than the puberty and teenager. So it's actually normal that after the experiences, sky and earth are gonna meet in the third chakra of the action and individuation, and they're gonna give you signs that now it's a time to get space from the crowd, and that you are special, unique, and it's better if you follow your path.
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree. Like, if I would listen to this episode like a few years ago, I would be like, but I know what I want. I figured out what I want. So what do you mean I will feel the right path? And now I can say, yes, you definitely feel it. Once you're on the right path, it feels totally different than the other one. So if someone is now not there yet, if you're like, yeah, I enjoy it, but like you said, it's juicy. It's like it has like this extra level of like, this is it.
Yes.
So if you're not feeling that right now, my dear listener friends, that it's coming. You just like you said, you have to tune in and you have to listen, and then that's how you find the star.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, there are two paths. So this change, this individuation is gonna come either as a painful situation or a pure insight. But mostly, we choose to create painful situations that are, we can find them as the dark night of the soul. And this is a clear indication that, your path is not what it was up until now. And a bright new day is gonna be surely uh, gonna be, but you need to face some fears, you need to face some shadows, you need to look at the blind spot so you can reborn, like the phoenix from the ashes. It's a process actually, and looking back it's an amazing process, and I wouldn't even take even a bit out of that.
Yeah, yeah, like definitely. I always say like when I go through a transformation, like in the beginning, there's this phase where I'm like, I know I should change something. I even see the signs, but I'm not ready yet. So then you just make yourself suffer. You just go like, I know this is not good. And that's when you like slow down and that's when it comes. And yes, it doesn't necessarily feel fun or cool or nice. But then, yes, and then you look back and then you're like, that was awesome. I just did that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like it can feel like how you play Super Mario, and in the end of the level, every level, there is a monster. So there is a big battle. So you are qualified for the next one because you know your experience, you know what to do and how to do it differently now and better. So it's like of that. It's a very nice experience there, the game of the life. Uh, in the end of the day, and you put something very nicely that we know that some things are not good for us, but it's not the correct timing to do the change, and this is something respectable as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I really like this. Mm, okay. So let's say people wanna find their star and wanna feel empowered and wanna do the nice things. Well, and go through the painful things. How can they get in touch with you? How can they connect to you?
uh, so they can connect with me through my Instagram handle and my LinkedIn, and they can even get in touch with me for anything they want to ask, like whatever made them an impression, or something simple things like, okay, how can I talk to my subconscious mind, how I communicate with that power, how is the law of attraction working. I love explaining these things to people, because it helped my life realign. I feel that before doing the training and understanding the foundation of the subconscious mind, I was really like a blind woman walking in an avenue. And what happens when you're blind in an avenue? Like you're gonna, get injured by or killed by a car. So whenever we see exactly how things are, that things are not as they are, it's how we think about them. Then you say, okay, it's like I have eyes now, I know where to go in the avenue. I'm gonna go in this lane or the other way. I'm not gonna be stepping and bumping to the other cars. So that's my passion. That's my passion, to help us clear all of the misunderstanding and all the misdeeds of the past and see them from a new perspective, because that's the key for the game, the perspective.
Yeah, yeah. So all the links will be below, above, I don't know, somewhere around. There are links where they can connect to you, and if they have any questions and feedback, then they can also do that. And I love that you do that. Yeah. So thank you so much um for being here, for sharing your story today, and for giving us all these awesome tips. And yeah, I already just feel more empowered. And
Oh,
it was really nice talking to you.
it was great, Katalin, for giving me the time, the space, and as I shared with you before opening the line, you have such a comforting presence and calming voice, and feels that you've been through many situations and processed many things. that allowed you today to be an observer, a soft observer that
Hmm.
can discern, what's there, why life is bringing that to me. And I'm very grateful we met and our paths crossed.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we talked, and I'm really happy indeed that our paths crossed. And thank you so much for the for the nice words
Uh,
too. Yeah. Is there anything last final words that you want to share with the listeners?
I don't want to overload your audience more. I try to, pinpoint some things that were significant for me, and they might give courage for some people who are on the look as well. So just, want to send positive energy and positive thoughts and faith and courage to their path, that and the last one, that the good captain is not becoming one who is sailing on a lake, but the one who is in the wide, big, and bumpy ocean.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much. My pleasure, my honor.
Yep. Bye bye.